A UI alert view might look something like this. I think we can do a little better. What if we have a text field to write text in there? Let's see if we can. So here's my resultant UI alert view on the simulator. But it has a text field where the user could enter some text and it's returned to the caller in the delegate function. So anyway, let's take a look at the code, which you can also download from the GitHub repo, which I think always helps. But I've created a storyboard there and basically drawn out the design so it'd be easy to kind of change this and make it look a little nicer. I mentioned that we return a string from the text field through a delegate. There's the delegate in a separate file, and we're just returning the value as a string. And here's the actual meat of the code. The main text is an attributed string because a label can accept an attributed string, so you can do nice things like make that title have bold for some of the title or perhaps some colors. We have our outlets defined there, and basically it's quite simple code, but the view has to remove itself from the super view in this implementation, which I think is a reasonable approach for this particular view. And you can see how we set up the view if we get rid of that, so we can see a little better. And just set up the border, set up a little bit of the UI, and here's kind of the magic. You have to present the alert view controller, which is the name of my implementation of that, and present it to the current window. There might be an issue if you're using an iPad and also connecting a monitor. Then is the window on the iPad the first window? So this might be a solution you'd only want to use for, say, a standard iPad, but just something to think about there. Here we have a view controller, and this is where we're instantiating the view controller from that storyboard. I've set the title from the property, which isn't great. I'd rather have a initializer or configure function here, but it gives some idea of how we might have an implementation like this. And here is my delegate where I can return the text to the caller, which is this view controller, and perhaps, I don't know, I've suggested use core data or something similar. The idea of this isn't that it's a perfect solution, it's to give some code and some idea of how you might implement this within your own context. So let me be clear, the code is in no way perfect, I would say. And the second thing is, should you really be making your own alert view and not using the standard ones a user would expect when using an Apple device? And I think that's between kind of a coder and a designer and a project manager. If you're doing it all yourself, I think the general way to go is to use the standard components, but this is a decision that has to be made in your context. And that said, this code is also, I would say, not perfect, but it's something to look at and perhaps base your own solution on. Anyway, hope this has been of use, and maybe see you next time. Thank you.